All right, third time's the charm here.
That's right.
Everybody, hi, welcome back. Welcome to episode 4, if you can believe it. Today, I have my girl Reanna on the podcast. Hey, Reanna, how you doing, girl?
Hello. Good.
So good. I'm so happy she's here. Reanna is part of my holy trifecta of therapists. So I've talked so much about my paid personal therapist, Alex, who I've seen for 8 years. Reanna is my pro bono poor friend therapist, meaning she has to listen to me whether she likes it or not. And she helps me out for free all the time, and she deserves the world for that. And the third is ChatGPT for the constant and immediate validation. So
we cannot dismiss the value as much as it's controversial, but yes, absolutely.
Everyone needs a little validation.
That's true, absolutely.
So I'm very appreciative that you're here and that you're part of my life. And so Reanna is one of I say ours if Liz is still here. Liz was supposed to be here, but she's not feeling well. But I'll still
Queen, we love you.
Yeah, feel better. We hope you're good, but again, we're still gonna treat you as if you're here. So
that's right.
Our good friend, and she's one of our more crunchy granola friends. She's the good vibes, the good energy, and I could see you sending signals to the ants in the ground.
Yeah.
But I love that for you.
I have hugged trees. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Well, if it's any consolation, the first time Reanna and I not hung out, it was at a friend or a colleague's pride party. So it was the first time we saw each other outside of work. I was on the trampoline in rainbow heart nipple pasties.
You were.
So,
to be fair, no nipples were seen.
The nips were covered.
That's right. It was just a little undercleave. It was lovely. And I was like, hey, if I looked like that, I would definitely rock those rainbow pasties for sure.
I said the same thing. If I looked how I did 3 years ago, I would be in shamrock pasties today because we're recording in March,
That's right.
So, girls, while you're young and while you're confident and killing it, at whatever age you are, just wear what the hell you want.
Exactly.
Because guess what? We're still friends today.
That's
so
right.
If we can get through that, we can get through anything. But yeah, so I met Reanna through work, and we again became pretty good friends over time. Whether that's forced proximity friendship, but also very thankful for it. So again, happy you're here today, Reanna, with me in the studio. And so, how was your drive in? Did you have any hiccups?
No.
Easy way in today?
Yeah, actually, it went well today. I did not have to use my recently created mantra.
Oh, what's this mantra? For what?
So I came up with a mantra to navigate when I start to feeling I've nicknamed myself a few years back that I sometimes have this re-Hulk personality.
Okay.
So I kind of Hulk out. And so
Hulk smash.
The morning commute traffic sometimes will definitely awaken re-Hulk. So I came up with a mantra and was like, okay, I'm gonna drive like I care about people. I'm gonna drive like I care about myself. I'm going to drive like I care about others. And it's not always in that order, but that's the gist.
Depends
right?
on the day.
Yeah.
I need that as an air freshener that you hang around your mirror, you know?
You just look at it right there and say it out loud. Saying it out loud actually is really an important part of the process because you're talking to yourself, you're hearing it out loud, and you're like, okay, no, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to let this shadow side of myself take over just because everybody in their car
doesn't know how to drive.
It's an extension of ego, and I do have some biases against certain vehicles, I guess. I make some assumptions.
Prius. I'm sorry. Wait, honestly though, as you were saying that mantra, it sounded like my good chakra playlist.
Ooh.
The way I could hear myself listening to that in the car and calming down. But it's also one of those things where, okay, I say it out loud, I calm down, and then immediately somebody doesn't use their blinker. What are you doing, asshole? What are you doing?
Exactly.
Just when you're singing along in the car, you're everybody in the club getting tipsy.
Use your blinker!
yeah. Go faster, asshole, 30 miles.
You're not even going to speed limit!
Oh my. Don't get me started. Are the best when people will be so fast to cut you off and get in front of you, but then go the goddamn speed limit.
Or slower. So, I swear,
Negative.
I've had many drivers of a certain brand of vehicle insist on, you look and they're, right there in your rear view, just right there, breathing down your neck. You let them by. You're like, whatever, bro. I'm not gonna fall into this. Like, go on your way. Good. Get out of here. And then they get in they pass you, and then you get back in your passing lane. And next thing you know, they're like hitting the brake. I was not like, just do you, friend.
And also, nobody's in front of you. So where's the brake coming from?
Why are you trying to bait me into waking up Re-Hulk? This is not good. This is
honestly
it's bad for me.
Rage baiting. I do pretty well with, not engaging, but sometimes it gets So either way, I'm glad you made it here in one piece.
I am pleased. And,
and you made it here peacefully.
Yeah. And it was a nice drive. And it's not a drive that I might have taken it one other time. Yep. So, like, it's nice to explore new areas. I've been here for a few years, but, like,
there's something new every corner or every way you turn. So upstate New York for sure. So you already mentioned things I'm like, I can't wait to get into, like the power of words and saying things to ourselves. What you just shared about like just being kind, putting yourself first, exploring your own path. Like we're going to get into all of that. And so where do we start? So I guess if you tuned in last month, I always want to say last week because I literally just dropped it last week. And so if you only knew the time frame. But if you tuned into last month's episode in March with Gina, I told her the story of running into Bean, a critical player, a big 3 player, top 3. Anyway, and so,
I don't know if we'd call it an MVP, but...
the MVP, but not in a positive way, if you will. So Bean is actually somebody who Reanna has heard about all 3 years too and has seen the ups and downs. And so she's somebody, though, that I immediately reached out to for help. And she knows I never reach out for help first and foremost. Like, I usually update my friends after the fact. Like, after I've thought of it or I impulsively made a decision, I felt like shit about it. And then I'll tell them like a week later and I'll like, haha, that's funny, right? So anyway, Reanna and I were talking about earlier this week, like, how did we come up with the name Bean? And while we couldn't remember, she did come up with another name that...
Yeah, I do not remember where that nickname came from. I really don't. And I've like continued to think about it. I cannot recall. I do know very distinctly coming up with another nickname, but I cannot use that for legal reasons.
Yeah, so, it's a little too specific. I mean, the goal here is to not get too specific. At least for people who don't know the situation. Like, I think people in my direct life know who I'm talking about, and I hope you do.
It's like
better follow along here.
When you do like a documentary or like a inspired by true events type of situation, like names and details have been changed to protect various parties. Maybe not but the innocent, and maybe those being discussed are not necessarily innocent.
But we're gonna play it safe here because I got no money to be sued. If you sue me, good luck. You get me.
Right. So, good luck.
I show up at your door like, here's your prize. And they're actually like, never mind. So I do think it stemmed from one of my earliest stories about Bean, though. And it was about him making me feel insecure. Per usual. And I told Reanna that, like, this is like not even like a sex podcast. And like, so even for me to like say some of these stories, I feel like I don't do that. I always say that to like my friends when they have like really close relationships with their families or like their mom specifically. And I'm like, I could be married and full blown like have a house and get pregnant, and I'd be like,
kids.
Yeah, I'd be like, but God bless me, I am the chosen Virgin Mary.
They came from the Cabbage Patch, right? They were delivered by the stork from the Cabbage Patch.
I will die on that hill before I admit to some, like my mom or somebody I engage in sexual activity as an adult. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, we were engaging and hanging out. This is back to Bean. Oh my God, I almost said his name. That would have been horrible. So and one of the earliest stories I told her about him making me feel insecure was like he would point out that I would like sweat sometimes after engaging, and like it would be like one little like drop or something at the end, and he'd be like, oh wow, like are you hot or something?
Oh my God.
And Reanna was like,
this kills me.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
And mind you, this was probably the first story 3 years ago, and that could have been the red flag. That could have ended this whole saga.
We're not here to count all the red flags. It's okay.
But I would win.
Yes, that's okay. Yes, as a Taurus, undulate.
We have to. I never put that together in my life. That is a Taurus and the red flags.
That's right.
Rihanna,
That's right.
now I know my next tattoo, and I really appreciate you for that.
I can help you with that, for sure.
We need Liz here. We need Canva going.
Yes.
Your design skills.
Yes.
And I'm going to get that right on my bicep so you all know, okay? Oh my God, that's so funny. But anywho, yeah, so going to 3 years later now, you know, like actually they sent a meme this morning, Liz and Rihanna, and it was like a video of them, a friend celebrating their friend not talking to their toxic ex-situationship for 100 days. And I go, couldn't be me. You guys need to make sure a whole year has passed, and I think we'll be in the clear.
We will.
Okay.
It will be a whole planned event. We will have invitations. We will plan this out, and I will definitely have Liz help with that.
Good. Yeah, we need a full-on banger, like a Project X type party, because I made it. Mama, we made it. So, unfortunately, Rihanna, we'll have to start that account as of last week because, so backing up to what I think was 3 weeks ago now when I fought off the text message and I made it.
Yes,
I got through that addiction. But the week after we like left, or I got there and he was leaving and I saw his car. He must have been in his car. Big manly truck now. Anyway, fucking miss me with the bullshit. Anyway, I'll take the Prius at that point. Sorry. I'm sorry. But he saw me and he texted me and that's when I sent the text to Rihanna and Liz and was like, Mayday!
I was like, put me in, coach. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm going.
I'm like, somebody sedate me. And I'm like genuinely freaking out. Like, I don't think you guys understand. I was genuinely freaking out.
I totally understand.
Yes. And so I sent this text I sent a screenshot and I was like, God, he texted me. It's not me fighting off the urge to text him. I can withhold. I made it through the first time.
Yep.
But now he texted me and now the ball's in my court again. And
Why
I'm like,
am I being tested?
Shit. And so anywho, I think I caved that night. I'm pretty sure I did go. Like, it's so funny how time just like lapses so fast, and I'm like, what day did I go there? Details don't matter anyway. I went over there at some point, and I think it was 2 weeks ago. Pretty short interaction. I mean, again, in my defense, in the 3 years reflecting on it, yeah, like it's not about like the conversation. Like, you know how I used to be. I used to be like, but Rihanna, he took my hand and he rubbed it really nicely.
Yeah.
He asked me how my day was. And I used to really focus on it. So, you know, I'm not here to do that anymore. But I went over there, we caught up a little bit, hung out, and I almost immediately left after. Like, I didn't stay and hang out a little bit more. But then fast forward to this week, I saw him at the gym. Actually, we were there at the same time, which I had a conversation with him when I saw him. I said, excuse me, 3 to 5 p.m. my time at the gym.
Yeah.
Like, respect that. I mean,
and he didn't.
I mean, not like I really do own this gym, but also, why all of a sudden I went months, probably 6 to 9 months without seeing this man at the gym. Okay. And he literally told me at one point, he's like, yeah, like when I'm not working, I go in the morning. So I mean, I can't go in the morning, I work, but like either way, I was like, oh, that works out perfect because I go in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Evening time. Perfect. And now all of a sudden, on your days off, you want to go at the time I go.
Toro.
And and he's getting me. And I'm taking the rage bait like we were talking about earlier. I'm taking the rage bait. And
You're only human.
I know. But this last time at the gym, so a week after I saw him, most recently, and I caved. I fell back into the cycle. Okay, let's not get hard on myself here.
That's right.
We will later. Anyway.
Every step counts.
Every step you take. No, okay. We're going to have so many breakout songs here. I just feel it in my bones. But anyway, I saw him at the gym in a different light. And when I say in a different light, I mean both physically and metaphorically. Yes. Because I was walking behind that man. And now I don't want to point out anyone's flaws. We all have flaws. Like, my hair is thinning out and I'm really insecure about it. I'm on Invisalign. Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Rihanna and I are Invisalign baddies now.
That's right.
We got to talk about that a little bit.
That's right.
But yeah, so I have like my own insecurities, right? Everyone does. And so it's really not about physical features. But when people are pieces of shit, it gives me a pass to talk about those insecurities.
It's the moment where you take off the rose-colored glasses and you're like, oh, it smells a little weird in here.
It smells like cow manure.
Exactly. It's giving farm sense.
Yeah, and so I saw that shiny, bright, bald spot on the back of his head, and I know you might not understand. It's like because I feel like you may not have been like as SpongeBob addicted as like say Liz and I were when we were little. But they're in the SpongeBob movie. There's King Neptune, right? and somebody steals his crown. And so he has to wear a paper bag until, like, SpongeBob and Patrick, like, find and return it. Why? Because when the paper bag comes off, everyone just goes, bald, 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 like, screaming, pointing, and, like, laughing at him. And it's really insecure. And that's literally how I felt. I was like, bald! It's shining it's like my eyes. My eyes!
The crown is off.
Pretty much. Because
the crown was off.
So, again, physically, different lighting, right? And I was behind him. It wasn't dark in the bedroom, and looking at his eyeballs. It was, from the back. And I was like, okay, and this is what I'm crying about. And also, he's like 5'9" on a good day. And just like, again, I'm not trying to round anybody's appearance. Like, I know I'm a mid-regular girl at best, too. But it was a real, like, moment, like, I needed to look in the like, fake mirror and be like, what are you doing, bitch? Like,
it's like, but it's that moment where, together. Like, you, like, realize that you've just been, like, idealizing a situation or a person, or, you know what I mean? And you have that, like, very human moment where you realize, like, you're like, oh, my God, they, like, put their pants on one leg at a time like I do. Like, what have I been doing?
Absolutely.
With, like, wearing these rose-colored glasses all the time, right? And it doesn't help, like, it doesn't help with that, like, trying to make a decision and being like, you know what, I want to choose differently. And I want to actually, like, go by how people treat me.
Yes.
And not just by this, like, idealized, like, version that I have of them in my head.
Yes. And actually, that's where I want to head into next of, like, how we're treating ourselves, because I think that is, like, so important, like you were saying earlier with words, too. But I was saying, too, and I was saying this to my mom, I said this to Reanna yesterday, like, I recently was watching the JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, like, docuseries, so a story about their romance and their relationship and stuff. And in the show, like, the song Linger started playing by the Cranberries, and it sounds like it's genuinely, like, made for a rom-com. Like, that song, like, the way it's crafted, the way it's created. So naturally, as somebody on the spectrum, likely not diagnosed, but very likely on the spectrum, like, I will replay the same song for 4 days straight. So last week, like, whenever I finished watching the last episode, all I listened to since was, like, that song, Linger. So, I'm driving around, like, and I'm in so deep, I'm such a fool for you. You've got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? Anyway, though. Lovely breakup. You're fantastic.
Love that. That was good.
But, like, these are the lyrics I'm singing to myself, right, for 4 days. So by, like, Tuesday, Wednesday, like, midweek, right, it's like 3 days past, I'm, like, really feeling so depressed. And I couldn't understand, because, again, I'm like, okay, like, I know I went back and this is probably my karma. Now I got to feel the wrath of it, right? But I'm like, I didn't even think about the lyrics I was singing to myself.
Right.
Because it sounds like it's such a lovely melody song, like like serotonin, like boosting song. No.
The little symphony, like.
It's like, oh, so why were you holding her hand? Is that where we stand?
Yeah.
I cared for you. Like,
lying all the time. Was it just a game to you?
And I literally could hear the Ringling Brothers calling my name. Oh. Like, I heard the circus. Is that what people hear when I pull up in my fucking white RAV4? They're like, oh, the circus is here. Like, Adriana's here. Like, bearded woman. I'm like, motherfucker. Yeah, so either way, it was really, like, a moment where, and I caught myself, like, Tuesday, like, because I knew, I'm not going to share the details because I don't want to give anything away, but, like, I knew Tuesday might have been another opportunity for me to receive a text, because that's the day I saw him at the gym. There we go.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. I saw him at the gym, and I texted him. I said, "Oh, if you want something to listen to on your hot girl walk, here's the link to the podcast." So I played into it though, but then I hate it because I catch myself wanting the reply, and then I get a reply, but that's not good enough, and I want to be invited over, and I didn't.
Nice.
I'm not gonna ask. And again, I'm very happy it turned out I didn't get invited over. Beautiful. But I hate that. That's that cycle, like I was talking about in my last episode. And so that's why I'm really not here to focus on him. Reanna and I have had many conversations where, again, I still feel very indifferent. Like, how do you continue to have somebody back? Why do you continue to go at the gym when you know I'm going to be there? All mental mind games. But I'm not here to control that person.
Right.
And I'm also not here to force that to work, right? I'm here to focus on myself, which I guess is where we can move into. Yeah. So part of Reanna knowing and seeing me for doing this for 3 years is she's also seen, I feel like, how hard and down on myself, I guess, I used to be. It doesn't mean I'm still not, But when I met like Rihanna, when I started to hang out with Liz again, because again I known Liz a little bit before that, but when I came back to this job and we all got together, they used to make me read affirmations off of the wall. Like, I was so mean to myself and out loud. Like, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm such a fucking idiot. Or, oh my God, Adriana, why'd you fucking do that? You're so stupid. And like,
Shitty committee.
and that's when we were introduced to the shitty committee. Rihanna, tell us about the shitty committee. What is it?
Everybody has a shitty committee. Well, okay, so let me back up a little bit. There might be some people who don't necessarily have an internal dialogue in the way that a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say like everybody is all the
yeah.
same. But something that was introduced to me a few years back by a lovely coworker friend, love him for legal reasons. I will not call him out by name.
Please
However,
don't. We can't afford it.
this is a positive homage. Thank you, friend, because it stuck with me. And I heard him refer to like the negative internal dialogue that we use against ourselves as the shitty committee. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant.
It's
That's so
good,
accurate.
dude.
And then usually the head of the shitty committee is the
president.
inner critic.
Yep. He's the CEO.
And we could go like down a lot of rabbit holes with this, and actually it relates to like a lot of other like cool like inner kind of awareness work that's kind of happening and out there.
Yes.
But like sometimes it's just good enough to know that you have a shitty committee. It's always going to be like trashing what you do, what you say, what you think, what you don't say, what you don't do, what you don't think, and
all
like,
those things.
having that awareness and noticing that like there's parts of us that just like pop up and like do things. So like this is where the shitty committees come out. Of course, it's like kind of funny and like trying to like help us not take it so seriously. Yeah.
No, and it's just again, it's a perspective to have and to keep in mind, right? Because what I think happened over the last 3 years was like I guess I never knew how much that you saying those things out loud, meaning like if you're being hard on yourself, like when I was being hard on myself, how other people pick up on that. And like that awareness piece. I wasn't aware of that, how my language and what I was saying about myself had an effect on the room.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean like intentionally. Of course I wasn't. I'm not trying to selfishly be like, I don't care how other people think about it, but I wasn't even aware that it just brings a certain vibe when someo's constantly down on themselves all the time.
We see you and we love you and we care about
and you see the
and
good
we're like, stop being mean to my friend.
Yeah.
That's my friend you're talking about.
That's right. And I really wish like something I think about now, like really only this year is like people only treat us as kind we treat like, you know what I mean? Like, well, wait, let me try it again. Here we go. Words here today. I haven't even finished my first cup of coffee. Bear with me here.
That's right.
We will only, our people will only treat us as kindly as we treat ourselves. Or like, you know what I mean? Like we'll only allow people to treat us as good as we treat ourselves. So if I'm treating myself like a piece of shit, no wonder I'm letting other people fucking treat me like shit.
And interestingly, I think with that too, like so many of us will not talk to the people that we love and care about with the same dialogue that we will talk to ourselves with, right? So like
I know, I'm like, why can't I treat myself as great as I like treat like the people I love? Like I would die for the people I love.
For me, like in just like my own, kind of self-awareness process, which like trust me, girl, I have run some circuses, let me tell you. I have sold way too many tickets to all of the freak shows that I was hosting. So like I get it.
I can see like a movie of like you bringing them in one by one. Yeah.
Yes.
Crying.
Exactly.
You're funny.
Anyway, so that was like a big piece for me that like it kind of like really hit me and dawned on me that I was like, oh my God, no, if I'm really being honest, I would not talk to anyone else and say those things like the way that I've been talking to myself. And then it was, and it wasn't just like an overnight like automatic change. It was like, wow, I really had to like work at that. And I'm still, I still have my tendencies. But
hell yeah.
It helps to know like, oh, there's a shitty committee. Like, okay.
It's coming for a visit today.
Exactly. It's still always there.
It's auditing our processes.
Anytime you need it, it's always going to be right there.
Yes. And I think that was just really important. So, like once Rihanna like kind of pointed that out, and not just Rihanna, but like Liz and some of our other friends at work. And so I just started being conscious of it. And what happened, I think, was that immediately I just stopped saying it out loud, which I do think is an important step. Like you said right off the bat, right? Like saying those mantras out loud, it really does help. And so I do think it was a step that I stopped saying mean things to myself out loud. But for a little bit, like a couple of years went by, and I was still mean. I was just not saying it out loud. I just don't say that out loud. I had shitty committees.
Just keep it in here.
It's like you drive by me, and I'm like,
it's just like
I'm having conversations with myself in the car, but like just internally,
It's the shitty committee PA system in your head. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was still like, I was still having these negative thoughts and like being super critical, super harsh on myself. But like again, in the last year, especially the last 6 months, I really have intentionally been like catching that, like these thoughts. I'm never satisfied. I've had some really awakening moments with my therapist as well as my life coach now that I have sessions with of like, how does it feel to know you're never going to be happy? And I said, excuse me? But she's like, you keep moving the goalposts. Like if you're happy here, you're not there and you're going to keep chasing something else. And I was like, damn. So it's just, like just learning to be happy with where I'm at. It doesn't mean I can't improve. Being a good part of being, I think, a really great person is always looking to be a better person, right? Like and doesn't mean you have to change. It's just how you want to better yourself in some way.
Also, though,
Let's hear
if we are only stuck in the self-awareness, like that's its own little hamster wheel of suffering.
Sure.
And so you can't just like...
Yeah, that's what Liz said last time, or like a couple episodes ago. Like
you have
self-aware
to
whatever. Yeah,
you have to give yourself the credit for the things that you are like making changes with, and like it takes a lot of courage to actually like look in the mirror and to be like, is it me? Am I the problem? Is it me? Maybe. But it takes courage. And like,
I think I was gagged right now. Were you silent or were you silenced? Yeah. And I was silenced by Reanna. Yes.
But it takes a lot of courage to do that, right? And like people, there are some people who will go their entire life.
Yeah.
Just like doubling down and just being like, nope, not me, not it, not I.
I my family.
Do it. Everybody else did but me. Like, and that's just family, not really like at some point you come to that place where you're like, I might be the common denominator of some of my experiences.
Yep. And that's where I'm a big believer, and I honestly have this conversation with my family all the time. Is like, I get why certain environmental things and how we grew up and attachment and all of that stuff definitely plays a role in why we become the way we become. But at the same time, once you're an adult and you become aware of those issues, it's then up to you to take control of it. Yeah. Because like you say, it's not enough to be aware. Like, and I was stuck in that phase for so long. Like, I'm aware of all these things, but I can't change. How do I change? And I feel like I'm finally starting to break out of that hamster wheel. But yeah, like now it's up to me to do something with being aware of these things. And so the shitty committee thing and being kind to myself and like not being too harsh, knowing I can't just change everything all at once, and like that I'm a good person how I am today. And but I'm somebody too. I just strive to be better. And I think I think it's good, but now it's not my whole life. I'm not like, I'm not good enough and I have to change everything. It's one thing at a time.
You can't separate. Like we can't run from our shadow. It's just always going to be there. So like, how do we
accepting and integrating it?
Yeah. How do we make friends? And how do we accept the fact that like, in spite of mistakes we make, flaws we might have, things that we don't really care about, that we maybe really don't like about ourselves, like that regardless of those things, like we are still worthy of love and friendship and care and our own love and friendship and care, as well as that of those that we love and care about, right?
That actually like literally like made my heart. It didn't hurt, but like you like struck a chord, I think, because I know I'm not there yet in my journey, but I'm on my way.
We are getting you from your cranberries linger phase to your cranberries dreams phase. Okay?
That's right.
Oh, my life is changing every day. Every possible way.
Okay, girl, yeah. So I can still listen to the Cranberries and not be triggered every time.
That's right. That's good. A good one to shift to.
That's good, because all I've been listening to is like early 2000s rap and hip hop right now, because I like need to gas myself up without crashing out. So I've just been listening to like Da Beat.
I'm gonna send you some
I almost said Da Baby. Oh, hell yeah.
Hemp juice?
No, what was I listening to? Oh, we're gonna get buck in here. Everybody in the round ain't got man or too much booty. All right, sorry.
Yes. I had to. It took me a minute. Yes.
But like you can. I know. I'm sorry. I don't know all the words. But to be fair, I was 3 when it came out. I don't think I knew what the words were.
That's right. That's okay. But you feel the groove, and you know it's good.
No, totally. And you know what's funny is like why I think that too is. Again, is that aware? Like you're just bringing so much up that I like guess I didn't even think about before. Of like my therapist asked me like this is like so I've been with him for 8.5 years now, right? Probably going on 9. Okay, I'm old. And I don't do well with compliments, as we know. I'm barely able to compliment myself. My God, no, I'm kidding. Thank you. But he pointed out, it's like this may be 4 years ago, like halfway through treatment. I don't know. At one point, it just stuck out to me though. He was like, "Do you remember the first thing you ever like brought up, like your first therapy session?" And I was like assuming it was my parents or like whatever or something like that, my sister maybe. And he's like, I go, really? He's like, you brought up how you felt so bad of how you treated your ex, like your first boyfriend. And I was like, oh my God, like because there was a period of time, like after I got out of both of my back-to-back long-term relationships, I think I was reflecting so much. And I saw and was aware, but I didn't know what and how to change. Like I definitely became a better person in my second relationship than my first. But like if I continued in my first and I never got help, I never tried to change, I would still be like that today. And it really disgusts me. And it's funny, like that guilt of how I treated that person, I felt I still do. I felt so bad, but we can only do the best what we got. And at that point, I wasn't even aware.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like I used to like literally throw his keys like out the window if I got mad at him. And I'd be like, get the fuck out, bitch. Go find your keys in the snow and get out of my house. Like how it's hot. And you know what sucks is like I know people, I won't name any, that would still do that to this day.
Right.
As 20-something-year-old, 30-year-old adults.
Yeah.
And thank fucking God that I knew that was not healthy behavior. Which, again, to most people, you hear that and you're like, well, no shit. But when you grow up in an environment where unhealthy behavior is the only behavior.
Oh, that's just a Tuesday in the house.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. It's like it doesn't matter. You don't care about that person's feelings or how you handle it. And so like I'm just so glad that is something that, like you were saying, am I the problem? I had to really it came out whether I wanted it to or not. Those shadows came up and were like, you got to do something different here.
It was funny. I was kind of thinking about this coming here today, and I realized that like I had this period where I was very aware of like what I didn't want to do and how I didn't want to act, and like that was easy to ride that wave for a bit, and then I like found myself separating and like making my own path in life and kind of going in a direction that I wanted to go because I was gonna like bushwhack through the jungle and make my life path. And then before I knew it, like I started doing some things and I was like, wait a second, like I have a shadow. And it was very like, it was tough because I was very much caught in like this black and white thinking, and it created this like existential crisis where I was like, oh my God, I've done some things. I've hurt some people.
Yeah.
And why did I do that? And it took a long time. Like I didn't just get that figured out as soon as I started noticing that it was hurting people. Like it was a little bit more like there was some more friendly fire. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. And I am still regretful for hurting innocent people because I basically didn't quite know myself and who I was and what I wanted or how to recognize like I didn't want to be in something anymore, or that I didn't know like, oh, this isn't actually like I thought this was what I wanted and actually this isn't quite what I thought that it was going to be. And so, you know, how do I make those changes? And so it was that moment where like, and I also started realizing I hit like, I don't know, mid-late 20s, and suddenly I'm like acting out things that I had said previously like 5-10 years prior, like I'm never gonna be like that, I'm never gonna do that.
It's like cuts, it's like a movie, it cuts to the scene of like you doing the exact thing.
Record scratch, like
absolutely. It's funny, like I swore up and down, and I'm not trying to rag on my family. I won't until I get really big, and I can afford to. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
My mom's coming on next time. She knows it's coming. But like I swear up and down, like I'd never be like them, and it's right at this age, right, where I'm really like, but and it doesn't mean it's good or bad. It just is how it is. Like I'm a lot alike to my family that I swore I was not gonna be like. That you're like that, right? Like you don't even realize it until like those things come up and like you start exploring them, and it's like, ooh, like I'm actually falling into the footsteps just like they did.
I had this really bizarre like, I was so angry, but like short summary takeaway without getting into all the details. I was in a really toxic relationship, and it was one of the ones that like was probably like my big like personal like come to Jesus moment for myself to be like, I need to figure this out. Like, what did I do? How did I get here? And that was a multiple years process. But that person looked at me during one of our like very dysfunctional fights that they had absolutely orchestrated and did, and they called me the name of a family member that I had like shared some stuff with, and they're like, who are you acting like right now? And I was really angry because one, it was like, how dare you say that? Two, also, he wasn't wrong.
Right. And that, you just rhymed. It's like that one episode where the situationship called me out, and I'm like, well, but you can't say that about... Yeah,
So,
almost
like,
hurts two ways
was,
because you're realizing that
yeah.
it's like A, it's coming from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And B, that it's not wrong.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And so that was that was also like something that took some time to really like unpack for myself.
Sure.
Yeah, it's wild.
But like, I mean, I have so many ways I want to take this. So let me start because there's like 3 avenues I want to get into based on all of this conversation that we just built up to. Is I guess I'd love to know, because like you just said, like the narcissistic thing, and like that made me think of the doctor and like how I remember this so vivid. It's funny like what memories like stick with you, like those moments that are probably so insignificant to the other person, but like to me, like they're everything. I remember going to Reanna after like I went to the doctor to see him the first time, and it was like when I was all gung ho, and I'm sharing with Reanna, I'm like, Reanna, like I'm so happy, like it was so good. Like I really see a future with him. Like I told you I thought I was gonna move down there the next day.
I was like so for you.
And she started like tearing up, and she's sharing like an experience of like a similar like feeling that she had. And then a month goes by, and I mean that ending of that was way harder for me than any bean recovery I've had to deal with. Yeah. Because again, it was just like the highest high, I think, because again, it was not just about him, it was about the whole life now.
Right.
And so when it was taken away, it was like, I felt like I just dropped to the floor for months.
Yeah.
And so the same around, not just about the doctor though, like talk to me about, again, kind of seeing a friend going through those highs and lows and going in the same cycles over and over again. And because I asked that because part of something I'm realizing, like you were pointing out, is like, I don't think I'm better than anybody because I go to therapy for 8 years. I don't think I'm better than anybody because I've had some of this awareness and reflection, and I'm making a lot of changes now, right? Like, life's not a comparison.
Right.
And I also want to say about comparison, I've thought about it recently, is it's hard to compare when everyone's in such a different situation. Like, how can I compare myself to people who are in relationships splitting things 50-50? Right. How can I compare myself to people who don't have student loan debt and maybe had their parents pay that off for them? Which, again, it's not a hate. That's a blessing.
Right.
You are blessed. Yeah. But, like, either way, like, my point is like, you can't compare yourself to anybody else's situation because everyone is literally going through their own thing and has their own set of circumstances, but neither here nor there. Just talk to me about that, because that is something I do think I struggle with. When somebody's making the same decision over, like I think more like not necessarily friend-wise, but like my own family, like I have no patience for that shit because I annoy myself. This is why I don't go to my friends and drag them into this as like, things are happening because I know I'm not consistently enough like to make good progress.
Yeah.
So like talk to me about that, because I feel like I'm curious, like your perspective, like you've seen me go through this, and I know you've had
It's hard like watching the same car accident over and over again. You're like, God, just
how many times would you like to get hit by a tractor trailer, Adriana? on Route 7.
And yet, so I think kind of coming back to like a few things, right? Like thinking about like the comparison thing, right? And like, but you get to a place where you start realizing like you can't save anyone else from the things that they need to experience. And I do certainly believe that like through my own like many mistakes and many failures and like doing things that completely were like other people were like, why are you doing that? That's literally going to go like this. And do you not see that? Like I can very clearly see that. And then also, unfortunately, like I feel like it's the worst thing when someone is like saying that they're there for you and they're trying to help you and trying to help save you from yourself. But then they're also, unfortunately, sometimes in that position where they're like coming at you with a little bit of like contempt about like, I told you so. And it's not in a supportive like, hey, here's a hand so I can help you up. I told you so. Like I was really afraid of this versus like, I told you so. And I think that like there are certainly like everybody's going to have boundaries. And like there are times where it's going to be like there's going to be harder lines where you're going to have to really be like, I have to step back from this person because I literally, this is so painful for me to witness this that I have to draw a line. But none of what you've presented to me has like been that hard line. So it was just easy to be like the times when I needed support the most were the times that I was probably not going to reach out to my friends. And like through my own experiences of realizing like how much I had isolated myself when I was making all those really horrible choices, not telling anybody exactly what was going on in my life at all. And also knowing simultaneously that part of the reason I wasn't telling anybody about it was because I knew exactly what they would be saying. And that was the time that I needed support the most, and I alienated myself from my supports. And so I've just always after that and getting through that and reaching back out to friends. And I remember the first person that I like spoke with after that part of my life had ended and started really processing it.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of autopiloted through it and was like, no, that didn't happen. And I just remember how good it felt and being like, this is what I really needed all along. And sometimes like we may not be able to see ourselves exactly through the same way that the people that love and care about us do, but like sometimes we can trust that they're not lying to us and that they didn't make that up. And so like we can lean in a little bit on like using their love for us to help us get through in the meantime until we can find that place where we have that reservoir available to ourselves.
Sure. And I think like one of my old toxic habits was like I almost cared so much that like I made it my own issue and that like I felt everybody's pain. And so like if you're like I was like taking their problems on as my own, which is an unhealthy behavior for sure. But like, it came from a good place, but it never was executed the right way. And then I now am also getting hurt, and like when I don't need to, and I'm not also helping that person either, like by getting myself that involved.
Right.
But like then I almost became so far removed where I was like, but like I'm not gonna do anything unless people ask. Like I almost became like instead of me getting overly involved, I like became on the opposite end of that. So I'm still working on trying to balance it out. And like again, people can make their own choices. I'm reflecting on a certain situation right now. I want to get specifically into it, but like I think about it all the time. It's not that I was forcing them to get out of a certain relationship or like make a certain decision in order to save my friend. No, like you have to go through that. But when it starts to affect our relationship, where I feel like it's continuously like you're just not caring about like our relationship as like say friends and like dragging it into my face and pulling it out. That's why I also am the way I am, because like I hate that feeling as a friend too, where it's like I want to be there to support you, but you're also not regarding my feelings whatsoever, meaning like not about the relationship, about us.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
So it was now I think
this is
that's
the only thing we're talking about all the time, and this is the only thing that you can have any capacity to even think about. Like that becomes tough because then it's like.
If that's all the relationship is now, and then, or if you want to act like nothing happened, it's like, but you just told us this really awful thing. How am I supposed to act normal? Like, I can't.
Right.
And that just goes for like friends and family. But, you know, I think I've worked, I think with the work we do specifically, like I've set some really good boundaries professionally, so I don't like, get too involved there. Same with my friends. Like, I do put myself first, but I'm still there to help people, I feel like. And even with myself, like now I'm starting to set better boundaries for myself. And they're not perfect. It's a learning process. But one thing in one area, not to keep bringing it back, but here we go. This is the lesson.
That's okay.
Is what I'm trying to work on now. Besides, again, integrating there's so many things I'm working on right now. But like another thing is I just want to decenter men. Like I hope that one day. But I have to say, the clips that get the most hits are the men. So, this is kind of intentional. And I have endless content for days. So thank you to the men. But I told my therapist too the other day that I was like, why every time something good happens to me, right? Like whether it's somebody from Barstool like viewing my clip, me getting chosen to present at a conference, thinking about let me reframe. When I move to Florida and when I get there, why I want to reach out to the doctor and like tell him I got there. Like I just want to share it with a guy, specifically with men. I need I need that male validation, and it's not as desperate as maybe like I used to be like in my early 20s, like with all the thirst traps. Though I did just post one at the gym the other day. Okay. Baby, I'm defrosted. I'm back, honey. That's that Invisalign diet coming out.
That's right.
We're snatched. We're getting defluffed.
We're hydrated. We are like. Improving all of the oral hygiene. It's great.
I have to say, 6 weeks in now, I'm getting used to it. So, I mean, we're going to be bad. I mean, we're already baddies. But, like, imagine when we get these bad boys off.
Right.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, that was a little side note. But, yes, getting into that, decentering men. Yeah, I told my therapist, like, I'm so sick of it. Like, I'm catching myself now. Every time something good happens, I look to reach out. And it doesn't mean I do. It just means I notice the thought that I want to reach out to a guy and tell him. About even, like, being in the doctor. People who literally don't care about me whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he's, like, he acknowledged that. And so I'm like, how do I decenter men? And, he gave me the feedback. But literally, my thought the other day was, like, thinking about, like, the men I'm choosing to go to for that validation. So I'm like, okay, assholes, people who don't care about me, people who don't ask about me and like and are genuinely interested in my life, right? Or, have supported me. None of the above. And I'm just like sitting in the car, like driving along, and I'm like, curse you, Sigmund Freud! Yes, this is the attachment issues and daddy issues that are all coming out that you literally are attracted to, like somebody just like your opposite, like gendered parent, or you know what I mean? And I'm like, mother.
Yeah. Well,
so it really pisses me off. And like, even similarly, not just like the looking for them for validation. Like, of course, all I want to do is love somebody and be loved back. Now, can that happen with my friends and my family, my nephew, my cat? Yeah. But like, of course I want to be loved and have like a life partner. Yeah. Like that I think is I don't think that's abnormal for me to want, but I also want to stop having that as a back end thought. Like I want to be able to live my life that say it doesn't happen and I still have a good, happy life.
Right.
And so again, like if I can set those boundaries in all these other areas, why can't I set that with men?
I have
Tell
thoughts.
me.
I do have thoughts.
Tell me the thoughts, please.
None of that is based, like, you recognize that as soon as you notice it and you acknowledge it, you're like, oh my gosh, that's, like, not based in logic. That's not based in my prefrontal cortex that weighs, like,
that barely
facts.
is developed. It just developed in the last 6 months. Okay, she's new here.
The good news is that it's actually a myth, that it's only, like, fully formed by a certain time and there's no other hope. No, it actually, they've done some more research and, like, there's more hope for our developing that part of our brain. So
thank
that's
God, because
yes.
I'm barely developed.
Yeah. But it's not a logic-based thing. It's an emotional-based thing, right? And to steal from my own wonderful, very wise therapist who came into my life when I desperately needed him the most, hope springs eternal for the inner child that didn't get their needs met. And so
say it again.
Hope springs eternal for the inner child that didn't get their needs met. And so it's this heart space, this emotional space that is going to like always want to be like, oh, maybe I can get that thing. I can get that need met. I can get that need met. I can get that need met, right? And so when you bring it out of the shadow and out of the unconscious and into the like awareness area, you're like, whoa. And part of that ride is now to not judge it and to be mean to ourselves about it and just to recognize, to be like, oh, that part of me still exists.
Yeah.
I still would like to have that like support and that validation and that connection to be like celebrated for doing something well for myself. And maybe I want that coming from like a masculine place.
That is so effing real. Like, I love self-growth and healing. Like it just, God, like that gives me a runner's high.
Yes.
I could go run a marathon right now.
Yes.
Wait, I was actually thinking there's a Indian ladder farm, like it's a cidery in a farm around here. They're doing a 5K in May. And I kind of want to sign up because you get free cider at the end, obviously. Nice. But also, like, can I have you saying these awesome words and like reflections? Like, I don't need music at this point.
We will record the self-affirmation track for the 5K. Let's do this.
I need all these because I'll be like, I'm gonna heal my inner child.
That's right.
That's so funny. But that really makes me like that resonates with me, I should say, because that's like really that it's all related to what you're saying is that inner child, that inner need. And again, I'm doing pretty well with, again, not being mean and not shunning her, right? Or myself, but like and acknowledging that it's there, but it's still that piece of like acceptance, I think, is that's what's missing and why that emotion-based part still comes up a lot more than I guess I want it to. But now, again, it's good. I'm aware of it now, but whatever. But like, yeah, totally, because it's something I still have to actively face. And I guess I still to this, sorry, oh my God, I'm getting hostile in here. Yeah, it's something
Italian in here.
And that's how I spilled coffee on my fucking lap 2 weeks ago. I literally gave myself 2nd-degree burns like 3 weeks ago at work because I was talking like this. And I had a brand new spanking full hot cup of coffee, and I talked so much with my hands. I whacked it on my lap, and on camera, I'm like, excuse me for a second. Turned my camera off, sprung out of my chair, and had to like, I was in my office bathroom like, oh my God.
I'm not laughing at your pain.
No,
I'm just laughing at like,
it's funny. It was a tragic comedy, if you will. So yeah, I mean, I'm all good now. But anywho, back to talking and taking it out on the mic. But yeah, I really do just think it's about acceptance and like I have to face it. And I think to me, like it's the same thing with being with any of these men. Because again, it all goes back to something in childhood that I was looking for and felt like I really needed and I still haven't gotten. I have to accept maybe I won't get it in this way, but it's okay that I want it. Maybe it shows up in a different way. But again, to like not need to look for it, but accept that piece is that wound in my life, right?
And that, the vulnerable inner parts of us. My little girl's always going to be with me, and she's going to come out in like different ways that I like probably haven't had time to daydream up yet. You know what I mean? And so it's just more about like, I can be the adult that part of me needs to be able to meet those needs to the best of my ability. And it doesn't mean that I don't need other people or good relationships, but if I'm responsible at least for that part of myself, that I'm not letting her in the driver's seat of like my marriage.
Right.
I don't think she would be in a great position in that spot. So
no,
like,
she wouldn't, because Rihanna's married to a Taurus, and you know how I feel about that. Go
Love
Tauros!
Yeah.
Poor girl's around stubborn assholes all the time.
Yes.
And no, her husband's not an asshole, but you know what I mean.
He has his moments, and I love him dearly in spite of that. I always say, actually, he's my tagline for him. We have lots of like taglines and nicknames, and one of my taglines is that he's the nicest asshole that you'll ever meet. So
I love that.
He's very aware that that's how I, have introduced
every time before Rihanna's telling me a story about him, I'm like, I get it. I do the same thing. She's like looking for something to be like, no, for sure. I'm like,
and it's
nope.
Funny, I have quite a few Tauruses in my life, so like it's a thing. Like he just happened to be the one on the permanent husband roster. So
I love that. And Rihanna,
lots of besties that are Tauruses.
Before I give him that, Rihanna was pointing out Poland Springs today about, I mean, just generally about, we are not usually plastic water bottle drinkers. And speaking of stubborn fucking Tauros, you know who's a Toro? My father. And you know who ran out of water bottles? I moved home with him, right? So we ran out of water bottles this week. And I think he's like waiting for me to like, I'm living there obviously rent free, right? And like, I don't have to do anything. He's probably like, maybe my daughter who lives here, I took her in, back in, is going to buy some water. I only go to the store on Sundays, asshole. Okay, I didn't go to the store until Sunday, so get some water. He doesn't want to use my Brita. He's a anti-Brita person. And I'm like, okay. I'm a big Brita girly. And I'm like, you know what? Let's play. I won't drink water for 4 days. Okay. so
I will out-Taurus you. I see what you're doing.
That's our relationship here. I'm like, I will literally be a dehydrated on my deathbed until I go buy those damn waters, unless it's tomorrow on Sunday, and I'll go to the store and buy some water.
And then you can drink.
I can drink water again. But Rihanna is, again, somebody who continues to inspire me. If you can't tell this, I've loved this conversation. I know we're like, almost. Well, we have an additional 5 minutes because we messed up the first 5 minutes. So
I'm good at that.
We got 10 minutes. So, but yeah, she's again somebody who inspired me to take care of myself. Is always showing up as a support, and like every journey that you share with me, like I feel like you've lived like a million lives, and I mean that in like the best way because I also feel like that. So sometimes I feel like, oh my God, Rihanna's like the older sister. I mean, I have an older sister, but like she's like my other older sister from another mister. I feel like you're sometimes like a mom figure, but like you're not old enough to like be a mom figure, and like we're like close enough in age where it's like, you had me at 10 years old. That's weird. Like what's going on? Yeah. So I'm like, I don't even know, or maybe it's just a really good friendship. And
it's sisterhood.
Either way, it's girlhood. Like I told you, I looked in my mirror the other day. And I saw this, like, she had to be like a middle school girl, like in her mom's car, and she had like wired headphones on. And, like, the sun, it was, like, 4 o'clock, so sun, like, is setting, but shining on her face. Golden hour, she's, like, looking out the window, like, singing her song. And it was just so cute. And, like, she's taking, like, Snapchats. And I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah. That is true girlhood right there.
Yes.
And that's what I mean. Like, anybody at any age, if you're feeling it, do whatever the hell you want to do.
Absolutely.
And that's how I feel about you. And it's like you've literally like picked up and moved and chosen so many different paths. Like it doesn't ever seem like it may not probably have felt or
oh my God,
seemed
it was
like it wasn't like a straight trajectory, but like I feel like you've just always chosen yourself, whether you're like, at least like that's how I've interpreted. And that's what I think is most inspiring to me, because like that's what I hope to do, is just live a life that I want to live, no matter who or what people want for me or is expected of me. And so, like where are all the places like you've lived?
Oh gosh,
like even just moving, like
and I was born in North Carolina.
Okay,
but like I consider myself like a Mainer because I was really like raised there from like 3 or 4, you know.
Yep.
And then moved to New York for college, and that was that's a whole other like rabbit hole story for another time, maybe another pod.
Yay! Come back on pod.
And then lived in New York for 6 or 7 years while I was going through undergrad and then grad school, and then moved back home because the economy tanked, because I'm definitely a
Girl,
Zennial.
it's still tanked.
Yeah. Moved back home to Maine thinking I might be a big fish in a little pond, and like that was humbling, and that's okay.
It's that it girl, like pick me, like main character energy moment. And you're like, actually, I'll be a side character this time.
Actually, I think I want to be like a sub character, like background.
I'll fill in if they,
I just want to be a background person.
That's so funny.
And then got to a place where like I knew I wanted to make another change, but I had no idea how I was going to do that. And then the universe delivered me my husband. Now, he wasn't delivered as my husband, but like that's a whole other story. And he invited me. He heard my story and situation and was like, you gotta go. Like, let's go. And so I moved across the country to NorCal. Absolutely loved it there.
And does she not? I'm looking like as if there's people in the room. Does she not give off California girl?
And it's funny because
you are the California girl. You are Katy Perry.
Yeah. The years before I actually got to go there, I was told by friends who I think had mostly gone to SoCal, which I've never been to SoCal.
Yeah.
But like I was told by friends, they were like, you specifically, individually, you need to go to California. And so when I actually made it there, I was like, I get it now. Yes, I totally needed this like much sooner. So really enjoyed it there, and then brought back to upstate New York, and here I am. So I've just, yeah. There was no like grand plan. I'm kind of jealous of people when they're
who
like,
know like what they want to do.
A 5-year plan.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys have plans? Like
that's so good. I like that. I feel like I am a planner, but nothing ever goes according to plan. And I think the only difference is now I'm able to adapt and not just freak out and throw somebody's keys out the window every time the plans don't go as they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, either way though, I really think that I hope you feel proud of yourself for getting to where you are.
Working on that.
Like, because, again, like, I look at you like, I'm like, oh, my God, I want to be like her. And I'm, like, drooling out of the mouth. Like, I literally do. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, you are
but, like,
an inspirational figure to me.
This is the sisterhood right here. Because, like, I look at you and, like, I see so many things about you. And, like, I'm like, oh, God, I wish I was like that. So, like, this is good if this is a bi-directional, like, inspiration,
I think, and I hope that those are the relationships I keep around me. It's just, like, we inspire each other. We want the best for each other. Like, you know, we can laugh with each other. We can cry with each other.
We can make fun of each other.
We can make fun of each other.
Ourselves
That's
in good, healthy ways, right?
A little self-deprecation here and there. That's good for the soul.
That's right.
And I really, again, I appreciate you being here. And I was telling Reanna, like, when I did this podcast, I really didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know if it was interview style. I didn't know, like, what we were going to talk about, if we were going to talk about our opinions on different topics. And what it's really become, and I think part of that acceptance of that inner child and those shadows, is it's becoming just, like, a self, like, journal, like a diary, like a video diary for myself to have and reflect on. Because I really think that the more I hear and talk about these things and, like, hear it from, like, myself, like, the more I am able to process it and continue with those things. Doesn't mean I'm healing from it every single time I do a podcast, but I just think it's cool. And, like, I'll have these and all the people that mean so much to me. And that's why I'm really particular. Like, right now, actually, you know what's funny? I got 2 messages from, like, people, like, in the past, like, insignificant men from the past, like somebody I matched with that I just ghosted. I was like, nothing, Karen, I'm not interested in you. Like, nothing, like, no dates, nothing. Came out of the woodworks again. Okay. And then some, like, a bartender that I used to, like, just see and, like, casually or hang out with, but, like, for a very short stint of time. But either way, like, both have come out of the woodworks now. People asking to be on the pod, which, again, like, I'm open, please, if you want to be on, but, like, these first, like, handful of episodes, I'm just definitely being very intentional. Like, I want to have people, like, that I want to have meaningful conversations with and who mean so much to me and have an impact on this growth and on my life, and that I hope to continue have in my life. So, Reanna, next time I make a poor decision, you're just going to get a voice memo from me, and it's going to be like, I think I did it again. I made you believe that I was healed again.
Yes.
And, like, no context, just a voice memo of me doing Britney Spears.
It's perfect.
And then we can break out in song. Like,
that's right.
Oops, I
did it again.
With your heart, I lost in this game, oh, baby. Oops. Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah. See, either way,
we also need
we're just
some
gonna have
clips
fun.
Of Toxic. Yeah.
That's actually like my favorite Britney Spears song. That and I'm a slave, which goes back probably to the dead. I'm not gonna get into that.
Get it. Yeah.
I think we should this Halloween we all just show up as different Britney Spears. My favorite dance move is like the note. Have you ever seen like Step Up?
Oh gosh, that's
Or like
been a
any like
long
OG like
time.
dance movies like from the 2000s.
Yeah.
It's like when they like push themselves down, they're like,
yeah.
and then they're like, go back down. This was such a good episode.
I love it.
I love you. Sorry.
I love you.
I'm
Thank
so
you for
kitty.
having me.
Can you tell the coffee kicked in already?
I love it. It's a coffee talk.
It's a good day to make a bad decision. No, I was kidding. Let's end on a positive note.
That's right.
Well,
we can do this.
Yes, we can do this. We can grow together. We can go together. So thank you again so much. I had so much fun today. I'm really happy you were on. Could you tell she was nervous? I couldn't. All my people in here, I'm like, come on, audience.
Everyone who's here.
Yeah, me and all my friends.
That's right.
No, just kidding. All right. Well, thank you so much, listeners, for tuning in and continuing to be part of Who's On First with Adri and being part of the group and a part of the team. So continue to reach out. Let me know ideas. Let me know if you want to be on. Again, after these first handful of episodes, I have, again, very intentional people and conversations I want to have for myself, right? And then we're going big, baby. Barstool's looking at us. I'm getting big. I'm making money. I'm being famous. I'm being rich. And then I'm leaving it all behind. No, I'm just kidding. You will come. I'm a Taurus. I keep my circle with me at all times. You know how. I'm a loyal baby. Loyal to a fault. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Reanna, girl. Ready?
Bye.
Hit that button.